Hello everyone and welcome to Life Lessons Inside of Movies. For this episode, I don't want to talk about any specific movie, rather I'm going to talk about a specific actor's journey through playing a certain character. And I'm pretty sure by now you've all seen Endgame and you all know who Iron Man is. But how many of you guys really paid attention to the career of Robert Downey Jr.? That's because I believe that he gave us one of the greatest success comeback stories of our generation, but the problem is that it happened over a 2-decade period that a lot of people didn't even notice it while it was happening. That's because in the year 2000, Robert Downey Jr. was coming out of jail. He was an A-list actor that was even nominated for an Academy Award, but his life was on a downward spiral. He was heavily addicted to drugs, and along with that, he was making stupid decisions. But then fast forward a couple years later, and he ends up meeting his current wife that even is today, Susan Downey. And she even goes on record to say that she would not marry him until he cleaned up his act. But he was in love with her, so immediately he wanted to change because of her. Fast forward another couple years later, he ends up getting what people will call the role of a lifetime. But the thing is that at that moment, it wasn't the role of a lifetime. Superhero movies were on a downward spiral. Spider-Man 3 came out a year prior, and people felt that superhero movies just run its course, that they were going to die eventually. And along with that, Marvel was starting something new. They were going to do a gamble. So they literally bet everything, the future of the MCU, which we all know now, but at that moment, it was nothing. They bet everything on an unproven actor. And I'm not saying unproven through his work. He was a phenomenal actor, but the way that he was living his life, even people were saying, really? Robert Downey Jr.? You want him to play a superhero? You want him to play this role model for kids? But unbeknownst to us, the movie actually turned out to be really, really good. And at the end of the movie, he says the famous line, "I am Iron Man." Almost putting a stamp on it, letting the whole world know that he got his second chance and he was willing to run with it. Fast forward another couple years later, Iron Man 3 comes out, and he says the famous line again, "I am Iron Man." But this one, it was more of him reassuring everybody to where he got a second chance, and now everybody identifies him not as Robert Downey Jr., but as Tony Stark. And then finally, 2019, Endgame happens. There are very few moments in your life where you can foresee a chapter of a book closing, to where you can be completely satisfied in whatever area of your life because you know it's coming to an end. When I watched that final scene in Endgame, and Iron Man has the gauntlet and he's telling Thanos, "I am Iron Man," I felt that if it was Robert Downey Jr. that was saying that line. Because when you look at what he was able to do through the role, it's almost like if he's telling the audience, "I got my second chance." With it, from a success point of view, I became one of the highest grossing actors ever. I started clinics for people that were on drugs because I can relate to that. I became a role model for kids. I became this public face where every one of you guys see me as Iron Man. You guys don't see my past anymore. I got a second chance. I ran with it. I am Iron Man. There's very few moments, like I said, where you can see your whole journey come to an end. But from his point of view, he taught us a lot of life lessons, not through a movie, but through the way that he lived his life. Which was, if you find a good woman, she can kick your butt into shape. But along with that, if you are ready to change, and God gives you an opportunity, you can take it as far as you possibly want. And arguably the most important lesson that he taught us, your past does not determine your future.